Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we make sense of all that corporate mumbo jumbo. Today we are diving into the proxy statement of Ascent Solar Technologies. It's like their annual report's little sibling, but don't let it fool you. It's packed with juicy info and a few surprises. And as always, there are a few things we are going to need to decode. This proxy statement is a document that Ascent Solar Technologies is sending out to its shareholders so they can vote on some important company matters. Think of it like a ballot for corporate decisions. This proxy statement is for the annual meeting of stockholders that will be held in May of 2025. They're asking stockholders to vote on several key proposals. First, they want to elect 2 Class B directors to the board. Then they're asking stockholders to approve Haney & Company as their independent accounting firm for the year. It's like checking if you agree with who's doing the company's financial checkup. Next, they want to increase the number of shares available under their equity incentive plan. This means more stock options and awards could be given to employees. They're also seeking approval to do a reverse stock split. This would reduce the number of outstanding shares, potentially increasing the stock price, at least nominally. It's like taking a bunch of small bills and exchanging them for a few bigger ones. They're also proposing to decrease the number of authorized shares of common stock from 500 million to 200 million. Stockholders will also get to cast an advisory vote on the compensation of the company's top executives. It's like a thumbs up or thumbs down on how much the bosses are getting paid. Finally, they want approval to adjourn the meeting if they need more time to gather votes. The annual meeting will be held at their corporate office in Fulton, Colorado. If you own stock on April ABTREF 2025, you're eligible to vote. There are close to X aggregate votes entitled to vote on the matters being considered at the meeting. The board recommends voting for all the proposals. You can vote over the internet, by telephone, or by mail. Just make sure your proxy is received by May AGSEV 25. For most of the proposals, a majority of the voting power present in person or by proxy is required for approval. Abstentions will be counted as votes against. To save on printing costs, they're only sending 1 copy of the proxy materials to households with multiple stockholders. Moving on, let's talk about the election of directors. Ascent Solar's board currently has 5 members. The terms of Gregory Thompson and Paul Worley are expiring, and they are both nominated for re-election. The board recommends voting for Thompson and Worley. The company has a diversity matrix which indicates that all 5 directors are male and identify as white. Because of financial limitations, Ascent Solar doesn't have plans to expand their board until its financial situation improves. Paul Worley has been the CEO since May of 2023. He has a background in corporate turnarounds and capital advisory. Gregory Thompson has been on the board since April of 2023. He has extensive experience as a CFO for public companies. Next up is the ratification of the appointment of Haney & Company as the independent accounting firm. The audit committee has already hired Haney & Company, but they're asking stockholders to ratify the decision. In 2024, Ascent Solar paid Haney & Company $27,500 for audit and audit-related fees. The board recommends voting for the ratification of Haney & Company. The third proposal is about amending the company's equity incentive plan. They want to increase the number of shares available under the plan by 500,000. This would bring the total number of shares available to 655,250. The plan also includes a provision for automatic increases in the share reserve each January. The board recommends voting for the amendment. The fourth proposal is about approving a reverse stock split. This would allow the board to combine outstanding shares into a lesser number within a range of 1 for 3 to 1 for 15. The primary reason for this is to increase the stock price and maintain compliance with NASDAQ listing requirements. However, there's no guarantee that a reverse stock split will actually increase the stock price. The board recommends voting for the reverse stock split. The fifth proposal seeks approval to reduce the number of authorized shares of common stock. The plan is to reduce it from 500 million to 200 million. Because they did a reverse split in 2024, they think 200 million shares will be enough for the foreseeable future. The board recommends voting for the reduction in authorized shares. Proposal 6 is a non-binding vote on executive compensation. It's basically a chance for stockholders to say whether they agree with how much the top executives are getting paid. The board recommends voting for the executive compensation. This would give the board the ability to postpone the meeting to solicit more proxies if needed. The board recommends voting for this proposal. Let's check what the top executives made last year. In 2024, CEO Paul Worley made $778,878,850. Jin Zhou, the CFO, made $344,650. They're also providing information on how executive compensation aligns with the company's financial performance. Executive compensation actually paid and company total shareholder return increased year over year. Now let's look at who owns the company. Paul Worley, the CEO, owns 4% of the company. Forrest Reynolds owns X%, and Gregory Thompson owns XF%. David Peterson owns XF%. David Peterson owns %. Ascent Solar has a policy that all related person transactions are reviewed and approved by the audit committee. They also have a clawback policy which allows them to recover certain compensation payments if necessary. The audit committee has reviewed the financial statements and recommended their inclusion in the annual report. You can find more information in their annual report on Form 10-K, which was filed with the SEC now. What's my take on all of this? Ascent Solar is at a really interesting point. On one hand, it seems like they're trying to clean up some of the messes and are trying to get some more votes to execute more plans. But the reverse stock split proposal is a sign of continued struggle. It means they haven't been able to naturally increase their stock price. It's a financial band-aid. It might give them some breathing room, but it doesn't address the underlying issues. Also, while they say that they have been relisted, they are also being monitored, which is a clear sign that things are not fully resolved. They talk a lot about what seems like a hope for the future without showcasing what they have achieved so far. The biggest risk is their history of financial losses and the continued pressure to maintain Nasdaq compliance. If they can't turn things around, they could face delisting or even worse. In conclusion, Ascent Solar Technologies is at a crucial juncture. While the proxy statement highlights some positive steps, there are also some warning signs. Whether they can execute on their plans and achieve sustainable growth remains to be seen. That's it for today's Corporate Decoder. If you found this breakdown helpful, please like, comment, and subscribe for more insights into the world of corporate filings.